I don't know what this story can teach us, but every story teaches us something. On June 10, 1990, pilot Tim Lancaster fell out of the window of a flying airplane and hung outside for almost half an hour. By all accounts, he should have died, but he got away with bruises and a little shock. Absolutely unkillable and lucky. But he wouldn't have made it if it hadn't been for his colleagues. Fun fact: the flight attendant holding his legs was more psychologically traumatized than the one who fell out. A completely idiotic but life-affirming incident. Flight BA 5390 departed from Birmingham International Airport, England, for Malaga, Spain, as scheduled, at 8:20 local time. The weather was quite favorable. A slight breeze was blowing and the air temperature, about 15 degrees. The crew, led by aircraft commander Tim Lancaster, was preparing for routine operations. There were 81 passengers on board. There were 4 flight attendants working in the cabin of the airplane. The takeoff and climb also proceeded without incident. Initially, co-pilot Alistair Atchinson commanded the wheel. After climbing the echelon, he handed over control to the aircraft commander Tim Lancaster according to the instructions. The absolute aviation idyll ended in an instant. Passengers heard a sharp pop from the cockpit. The left side of the windshield, where the captain was sitting, literally threw up. Immediately there was a sharp depressurization. The pilot himself was thrown out of his seat and pulled outside. The airflow at a speed of several hundred kilometers per hour. Tim was pinned to the fuselage. At the same time, the wind blew out the cockpit door. The door damaged the instrument panel. Everything would be all right, but one of the radio beacons responsible for communication with the control tower was destroyed. The situation was not easy. Luckily for the captain, one of the flight attendants was in the cockpit at the time of the accident. Nigel Ogden was able to react lightning fast and grab the pilot's legs. The co-pilot began an emergency descent and started to transmit a distress signal, but due to the wind he could not hear anything. By this time Nigel's hands were very cold and they were starting to weaken. 2 other flight attendants came to his aid. They held him and could see his face through the side window. His eyes were open. The crew thought their commander was dead, but were afraid to let him go because of the possibility that his body could have gotten into the engine and put it out of commission. As early as 7:55, 22 minutes after the incident began, Atchinson managed to make an emergency landing at Southampton Airport. Lancaster suffered a fractured right arm, a broken finger on his left hand and frostbite. All in all, he got off lightly. It is noteworthy that the incident did not affect his psyche that much. Most likely, because he simply missed all the fun, being unconscious. 6 months later, he went back to work as if nothing had happened. Put a like if you liked this video and subscribe to the channel. There are a lot of interesting things to come from the world of art and history.